Rome on a budget? Yeah, you heard that right. In this video, I'm going to take you through the Eternal City without breaking the bank. From devouring the best slices of pizza for just a couple of euros to skipping the longest queues at the Vatican. You're going to discover the hidden secrets and must-see landmarks that make Rome unforgettable. And make sure to stay until the end, where I'm going to share all the insider tips on where to stay and how to travel around the city. All right, let's dive in. Day 1. Start your day like a true Roman with breakfast from one of the many local cafes located around the city. Ordering a cornetto, also known as an Italian croissant, and a coffee will have you feeling like a local right from the jump. Either pick a cafe close to your accommodation or jump onto a subway and take the A line toward the Cipro station, as this will put you in the perfect location for your first day exploring this magnificent city. After you've fueled up for the day, take a short 10-minute walk to the Vatican Museum entrance. Follow the signs or just simply follow the crowds of the people heading that way. Queues can be very long, especially in the high season, so booking tickets online is essential if you want to skip the queues. Ticket prices can run about 20 euros or $22 US if you pay at the gate. Booking online to avoid the lengthy queues that can occur will cost you an extra 5 euros, taking the total price to 25 euro or $27. If you're lucky enough to find yourself visiting on the final Sunday of the month, then admission is often free. A link to purchase the tickets will be left in the description below. The Vatican Museums house one of the largest and most important art collections in all of the world, including Michelangelo's Sistine Chapel frescoes, Raphael's rooms, and countless statues and tapestries that span centuries of art history. The origins of the museums trace back to the early 16th century when Pope Julius II placed a collection of sculptures in the courtyard of the Belvedere Palace. Spend your morning walking around all of the different galleries that this truly marvelous museum has to offer. Dressing moderately, that's required because this is a religious area. Now, for lunch on your first day, find one of the many pizzerias that Rome has to offer. Restaurants around Vatican City can be usually pretty expensive, as this is a tourist hotspot, so finding one a bit further out will give you the best options for deals. I'd expect to pay about 8 to 10 euros for a slice of pizza and a drink. Now, after lunch, head to St. Peter's Basilica. This is about a 15-minute walk from the Vatican Museums and is free to enter. This is one of the most renowned churches in all of the world, and it's the traditional burial site of St. Peter, one of Jesus' apostles. The current basilica dates back to the 16th and 17th centuries. The dome is the crowning feature, rising approximately 136 meters from the floor of the basilica to the top of the lantern. It's one of the tallest domes in the world, and it really is a sight to behold. There's an option to pay 8 euro to climb to the top, which can give you some of the best panoramic views of Rome from a height. Although entry is free, you can experience long lines as there's mandatory security checks on entering inside. A short 12-minute walk from here is the Castel Sant'Angelo, which was originally built as a mausoleum for Emperor Hadrian, and it was later used by popes as a fortress and castle. Talk about a diverse history. Located on the right bank of the Tiber River, it's another iconic landmark in the city of Rome. Tickets to enter inside start at about 20 euro or around $22, which can be a bit pricey considering we're sticking to a tight budget. So don't worry, you can still admire the exterior and the Ponte Sant'Angelo Bridge with its angel statues for free. The view from the bridge offers some of the best in the city, so it's well worth the trip over. There are plenty of restaurants around Rome where you can have an evening meal without breaking the bank. Restaurants like Trattoria da Tonino and Osteria Farnese both offer reasonably priced meals. Pasta dishes are usually a great choice for an evening meal. I mean, come on, you're in Italy, as these are really filling and they're priced around 10 to 12 euros per dish. It's a steal. Either pair it with a house wine or simply just grab a glass of tap water to keep it even more budget-friendly. But if you're going to get wine, always ask the waiter what their suggestion is, unless you're a wine connoisseur. I, for one, am not. Now, for the rest of the evening, head across to the Trevi Fountain, which is beautifully illuminated at night. You can toss a coin over your shoulder into the fountain to ensure a future return to Rome. Either spend the rest of the night relaxing around here or make the 10-minute walk to the Spanish Steps. Climb to the top for views of the city lit up at night, which is highly recommended. Hey, if you're enjoying these tips, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any other videos from our channel. Now let's talk about how to travel around Rome. It can be super easy due to its wide variety of options, whether it's on one of the public transportation systems or by simply just walking around some of the historic streets that this city has to offer. The easiest way to travel would be via the metro, or in America, we'll call it the subway. There are 3 main lines that cover most of Rome, and these run usually from 5:30 a.m. till about 11:30 p.m. Tickets can be bought at the metro station, and a standard ticket would allow you to take one journey. These tickets are super cheap though, only costing about €1.50. Multiple day passes are also available to be purchased. Buses, trams, and commuter trains are also forms of public transport that can be used while you travel around the city. These are priced similar to the metro and can also run for around the same time period on each day. Now, taxis or ride-sharing apps like Uber also operate in the city, and this can be handy if you want to get to certain locations without the hassle of public transport. But be cautious of unlicensed drivers who will offer rides near major tourist spots or airports. Stick to official taxi stands or use a ride-hailing app to ensure the fare is well regulated. The cheapest and arguably the best way to explore the city, or any big city like this, would be by walking. This can give you opportunities to walk past historical features that you might miss if traveling on public transportation. Now, day 2 starts off with a trip to maybe the most famous landmark in Rome and potentially one of the most famous in all of the world, the Colosseum. There are plenty of breakfast options around the Colosseum, which is a tourist hotspot, so be careful because prices are going to be a little inflated. Instead, you can grab a bite to eat from a cafe near your hotel. This will save you some money. Now, the Colosseum, also known as the Flavian Amphitheater, is one of the most iconic symbols of ancient Rome and once hosted gladiatorial contests, public spectacles, and celebrations that reflected the empire's power and culture. Now, still to this day, it remains one of the world's most visited archaeological sites, and it's a UNESCO World Heritage Landmark. Officially opened back in AD 80, the Colosseum would hold between 50,000 to 70,000 spectators, depending on the historical source, and this was used for a variety of different events, as I mentioned. Back then, you might see a gladiator battle or a wild animal hunt, even a public hanging. Who knows? Now, tickets to enter inside the Colosseum are priced at around €26, or just under $30, but these also include access to the Roman Forum and Palatine Hill. A link to purchase these will be left in the description down below. Gates open at around 8:30 a.m., and it's advised to arrive there early as lines, you can imagine, are going to form very, very quickly. Security here is also very strict, so be prepared for an airport-style check. Take time to explore all that is to offer here, and be sure to head up to the upper levels for the best panoramic shots. The entrance to the Roman Forum is only a short walk away. Here you'll find the political, commercial, and religious heart of ancient Rome. You'll see remnants of temples, basilicas, and public spaces, such as the Temple of Julius Caesar. Palatine Hill is also worth a visit when you're in this area, as it's included in your Colosseum ticket. You may as well go if you have the time. Now, for the afternoon, take a 15-minute walk to Monte neighborhood, where you'll find a historic neighborhood located just behind the Colosseum, known for narrow streets, small boutiques, and excellent lunch spots. For another budget-friendly lunch, opt for a couple of slices of pizza again. This time it'll only cost you about €5 each. Now after, take time to explore all of the beautifully designed narrow streets before taking a walk to the famous Vittoriano Monument. Here you'll find a massive white monument dedicated to Victor Emmanuel II, the first king of a unified Italy. Stroll up the external steps to capture some of the best views of the city from above. But just behind the Vittoriano is the famous Capitoline Hill, where here you'll have the option to explore museums for a price of about €15, where you can find a vast collection of ancient sculptures, paintings, and the original bronze she-wolf statue. If you're looking to save some funds, though, just skip the museums and simply enjoy the architecture of the piazza. For the evening, take a 25-minute scenic walk from the Capitoline area across the Tiber River toward Trastevere, which is a historical working-class neighborhood located across the river. Also known for its vibrant nightlife, medieval alleys, and authentic Roman eateries. Once you've arrived there, dine at one of the many budget-friendly restaurants that this area has to offer. Enjoy a classic Roman pasta dish like carbonara or cacio e pepe. Now, prices around this area should cost you between €20 to €25, again about $25, and this will include a pasta dish and a drink. Some great restaurant options include Da Enzo al 29 or Osteria del Belli. I'm gonna have a full belly after hitting both of those spots up. Now after, wander through the narrow cobblestone streets and walk some of that dinner off and enjoy some of the bohemian vibe of street musicians. Here you'll also find one of Rome's oldest churches, which is a great sight at night. If you have room for some dessert, maybe grab a gelato from one of the many different gelato shops in the area. Now let's talk about the airport situation and when best to visit. Rome is served primarily by two airports, Leonardo da Vinci Fiumicino, or FCO, and Ciampino Airport, which is also known as CIA. Now both of these are located out of the city, but both have great transport connections to the center. FCO is about 30 kilometers southwest of central Rome, and this is the main airport that serves Rome. The Leonardo Express is a direct, non-stop service that runs every 15 to 30 minutes between the airport and Roma Termini, which is the main train station. The journey takes about 30 minutes, and a ticket usually costs about €14 or $15. Now, buses are also a great option, as these run similar routes to the train for a cheaper price. Tickets range from €6 to €8, and travel time can be 40 to 60 or more minutes, depending on traffic. Taxis are also available, but naturally these are going to be a lot more expensive. CIA is only 15 kilometers away from the center and is located on the southeast side of the city. This serves the budget airlines mainly and a few charter flights. Several bus companies run between CIA and Roma Termini station or other central points, and tickets generally cost about €5, with the journey being about 30 to 45 minutes, again depending on traffic. Trains also run to the center, but you'll need to take a short bus or cab journey to the nearby train station, and then it's about a 20-minute train journey to the heart of Rome. Generally, visiting during the spring and fall is the best time, as these offer pleasant temperatures, moderate crowds, and a good overall travel experience. But when traveling on a budget, the wintertime is actually the best to visit, as hotels and airlines lower their prices due to there being significantly fewer tourists compared to the other seasons. Using websites like Booking.com allow you to check out the best prices for hotels in the city. A link to the website will be found in the description below. Start day 3 with breakfast at one of Rome's most famous markets, Campo dei Fiori. Now here you'll find loads of different market stalls all selling different kinds of baked goods and fresh fruit. Although this is more of a touristy location and prices might be a little inflated, you can still pick up a filling breakfast for under €10 or $12. After, spend some time exploring the rest of the market, as there are plenty of stalls selling small gifts that you can purchase to take back home. After you've explored around the market, either jump onto the Metro Line A to stop Flaminio, or take a nice 30-minute walk through the historic streets of Rome toward the Via Borghese Gardens. This is one of the largest green space areas in the whole of the city, and it's the perfect location to spend your third and final day. Just simply sit back and relax on the manicured lawns that are lined with trees all along the paths, or rent out a small rowing boat on the lake, which will cost about €5 per person for a short ride. This is a great way to enjoy the views of the park from the water. Heading up to the Piceno Terrace also offers a beautiful panoramic view of Rome's skyline and the Piazza del Popolo. Now, walking downhill via the terrace will take you straight to the Piazza del Popolo, where you can see landmarks like the Santa Maria del Popolo and the obelisk. The Egyptian obelisk is right in the center of the piazza and is one of the oldest in all of Rome. Santa Maria is a basilica that houses important artworks that include some of Caravaggio's paintings, and entrance here is free of charge. Great for a budget. Now, for lunch here, you can find loads of budget-friendly options in this area, so let's grab a slice of pizza or maybe a sandwich for about €5. After, spend the rest of the afternoon just exploring some of the less touristy neighborhoods in the city. There are a few great options, but two that I would recommend would either be Garbatella or Testaccio. Both of these offer different vibes, so choose one that best suits you. Garbatella is a residential area built in the 20s and 30s in the Garden City style, featuring quaint courtyards and winding streets. These streets show how Rome used to be back in the early 1900s. Grab a coffee from one of the many cafes in the area as you wander around these beautifully historic streets. Testaccio is known for more of its authentic Roman cuisine and nightlife. This is also where you'll find the Mercato Testaccio Market, where you can find stalls that sell different types of fresh produce and snacks. Now, the streets in this area are also covered in fascinating street murals, so take some time to just explore around before heading off for your last evening meal in this magnificent city. Now, deciding on where you want to dine on your final evening will depend on which neighborhood you spent the afternoon exploring. Both have plenty of budget-friendly options serving up traditional Roman dishes. Grabbing another pizza or one of the classic pasta dishes, again, will cost about €12 to €15. Throw on a bottle of wine, maybe two, and it runs it up a little bit more, but I mean, come on, it's the last night in Rome. You gotta live it up just a little bit. Now, once dinner is over, you can grab a gelato for one last time or roam around the streets before heading back to your hotel, bringing a close to this epic 3-day adventure exploring the city of Rome. Hope you enjoyed this journey. Now, hey, go and click on the video on screen now to explore other cities from all around the world. Ciao!